Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cracking open some really fascinating source material. It's from a discussion about reading some pretty challenging books, things like Time is Not Flowing and even Waiting for Godot.
Yeah, heavy hitters, but interesting ones.
Definitely. And we're not just, reviewing books. We want to explore how wrestling with these big ideas, time, existence, what it all means, how that can actually, change your life.
It's a great angle.
Yeah.
Because the sources really dive into that tension, don't they?
Yeah.
Between how we feel the world works and what these deeper dives these books suggest.
Right.
And they frame that struggle, that engagement, as like an engine for growth, for finding meaning.
Exactly. So our mission here is to pull out those really potent nuggets from this conversation, the insights that might help you think differently about your own time, your existence, how you're growing.
Finding those aha moments.
Yeah, those unexpected bits that feel really personal,
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it.
So the source material kicks off with this fundamental challenge to how we usually think about time.
Right, this idea that it's not a river just flowing past us.
No, it pushes back on that. The core idea they introduce is that time doesn't flow. It changes.
Time does not flow, it merely changes. That's the quote, right?
Yeah, yell on you.
Oh, yeah.
It's a simple phrase, but wow, it reframes things.
It really does. If you stop and think, if it changes, not flows, what does that imply?
Well, it suggests maybe it's not just happening to you passively. Maybe you're more intertwined with it. Maybe you even, influence the change somehow. It's like the first crack in seeing reality differently.
Okay, so how do we start seeing differently? How do we make that shift? The sources link it straight to reading these tough books. And they make a point I really liked. If you find a book hard, that's not you failing.
No, it's the opposite. It's a sign you're trying to think. Yeah. That's the moment. Ooga junk. That wrestling with ideas that don't quite fit. That discomfort. That's the growth.
That's such a better way to look at it. Makes you want to pick up something challenging.
Definitely. And this leads into their concept of reading level.
Right, which sounds a bit judgmental, but it's not meant that way, is it?
Not at all. It's more like a personal gauge.
Yeah.
A way to think about your capacity for complexity right now and how to intentionally grow it.
Okay, so the goal isn't immediate understanding.
No, it's about pushing yourself bit by bit. They talk about going from maybe a level 5 to aiming for 8 or 9.
But even small steps count.
Hugely. They emphasize that improving by just 0.1 is real progress. 0, 1, Jaco. It makes learning feel continuous, achievable, not some impossible peak.
I like that. Every little bit of effort broadens your horizon. So what does that broader horizon look like? What happens when your level goes up?
Well, the source suggests that engaging with things like science, philosophy, it starts feeling less like homework and more, exactly, poetic. It helps you see things that aren't right there on the surface.
There's that quote they reference from Rovelli.
Epidemny. Stay. Science has roots in poetry, knowing how to see beyond the visible.
That implies deep thinking isn't just logic, it's imagination, too.
Right, and that ability to see beyond, it's powerful. They link it to breaking down our own biases, our assumptions.
The things that hold us back. They mention Nietzsche.
Yeah, the philosopher with a hammer, always hammering away at conventional ideas, prejudices, trying to see what's really underneath.
So you strip away those surface layers, those biases.
Yeah.
What do you find?
The source claims that at these higher levels of thinking, the fundamental patterns start to emerge. The principles of money, people, the universe.
Wow. So the world doesn't get simpler, but maybe more coherent.
Exactly. More comprehensible. The world feels smaller. Maybe because you see the connections.
Okay, connections. Let's connect that back to time. The source brings in Einstein, relativity.
Right. Time isn't the same for everyone. Gravity, speed, they affect it.
And the really interesting part for us, personally,
is that time apparently passes slower for things? Or people that are moving compared to stationary ones?
Whoa, so literally.
Well, the physics is real, but the source uses it as this amazing metaphor for life.
Okay, got it. Metaphor.
If you stop moving in life, if you get stuck, inactive, time feels like it speeds up for you. Days blur.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Weeks just vanish.
So the call to action is, you gotta move. You need to create events in your life.
Yeah, cargo. Okay, Tom. Oh, Hogan, yeah. Hogan. Ho, kanga. Hogo. Hogado. Create events. I love that.
It suggests you can influence how time feels, how you experience its passage, by being active, by making things happen.
Agency again. You're not just swept along.
Exactly. And this idea of creating events flows right into the next big theme, meaning.
Where does meaning come from?
The source uses this great analogy, a deck of cards. Any shuffle is just an arrangement of cards. Technically, each has its own unique configuration.
But we decide a royal flush is special.
We decide, we assign the significance. Meaning isn't just out there, we create it. We assign it.
That's huge. So it's about how we choose to spend our time.
Precisely. Are you defining your time's meaning by scrolling endlessly, or by things you decide are valuable learning, creating, connecting?
Set
the standard.
You do. And making life feel meaningful, exciting, like waiting for Christmas or something. It doesn't always need big answers.
No.
The source says just asking the questions is often enough, wrestling with them.
Oh, no.
It's the effort, the intensity.
Yeah.
The intensity of thought matters more than finding one right answer.
Which is maybe why they suggest choosing art over passive entertainment.
Makes sense, right? Entertainment washes over you. Art demands something from you. Your thought, your interpretation. It raises your level.
Hey.
Huko.
Okay, so we need to create events, assign meaning. What stops us? What gets in the way?
Often it's the standards we judge ourselves by. The source uses that space analogy. No real up or down out there. Yet we trap ourselves with these human-made yardsticks, don't we? Age, job, salary.
They're not universal laws. We made them up.
Exactly. So thinking about things like being rich or successful, maybe the first step is ditching those external standards.
And focusing on
raising your level of thinking. Your capacity to see, to question, to assign your own meaning.
No. It's an inside job. Internal, not external. And speaking of external, the present moment. This was mind-bending.
Oh, yeah. The idea that in the vast universe, there's no single objective now.
That light from a star. The star might be long gone.
It makes our human experience of this present moment feel, well, incredibly precious, doesn't it? Almost fragile.
Yeah. So how do we make it feel? Vivid, real.
By choosing things that demand our presence. Reading something complex forces you to be here. Creating something requires focus now.
Not just passive consumption, like being on the phone, which can make time feel blurry.
Right. Yeah. Here you young. Integrate orcha. Can you produce value? Don't just consume time.
Okay, so presence, production. It connects to this idea of constant change too, right? The universe changes.
Hold your growth. That's the unconstant. And we too are capable of change, of growth.
Which leads to that other huge shift in perspective. Seeing things not as objects,
but as events and relationships.
Shuki
Janyam. That's beautiful. Explain that a bit more. The car example.
Yeah, think of a car. As an object, it's just metal, plastic, limited by its parts.
Okay.
But think of it as an event transportation, a journey, freedom, or a relationship, connecting people, enabling experiences. Suddenly, the potential opens up.
So apply that to ourselves.
Instead of, this is some fixed thing, ask, what kind of event can I create?
Wow.
The source says, we're beings of infinite potential defined by the events we start, the connections we make.
Like the speaker creating the live stream and the audience creating the relationship by showing up.
Exactly. It brings it right down to earth. What event did you create today? What connection did you forge? That's where the richness lies.
And often, creating something new starts with doubt. That seems backward. But think about Descartes. I doubt, therefore I think, therefore I exist.
Yalo Kiji.
Okay.
Doubt isn't the enemy. It's the spark. It's what gets you thinking deeply, questioning assumptions, solidifying your own existence.
So when a book introduces new languages, new ideas that make you feel uncertain.
That's good. That doubt means you're engaging with something new. Oh, Jaya, Young, go young. Young gun, embrace it. It means your level is going up.
Okay, I'm starting to see how all this ties together. Growth, events, meaning. How does it help us navigate the future?
The source talks about the brain as a prediction machine. It uses the past to anticipate the future, like recognizing a song from the first few notes yesterday.
Right. So reading.
Reading fills your brain with accumulated past wisdom, humanity's wisdom, not just yours.
So it makes you better at predicting. In a way, yeah. Better at navigating life, relationships, even seeing where opportunities, where money or value might show up. Yeah, you get better at seeing the patterns. Ooh, interesting.
It equips you, give you better data for your internal prediction machine.
So if we pull all these threads together, time, growth, meaning, events, doubt, wisdom, what's the ultimate takeaway? What's true possession?
Yeah, that's the core question the source material suggests these books are asking.
And the answer isn't stuff
Ah.
or a guaranteed future.
No. It seems the answer is the richness of your present, how vividly you experience it.
By filling it with
Meaningful events and deep relationships.
It's about internal abundance built right now through your choices.
How are you making today meaningful? That's the real question.
Yeah.
Wow. That's quite a deep dive. From rethinking time itself to seeing ourselves as creators of events and meaning.
It challenges you to look at your daily life differently, doesn't it? How are you experiencing time? What event, big or small, will you create today?
And how are you measuring your life's richness? Are you using those old external standards or something deeper, something internal?
That's the shift.
It makes me think about that playful suggestion from the source. Maybe we should change your small talk.
Or get the MBTI.
Yeah, instead ask, so what's your reading level? 看他这样教着到.
John, sure.
Yes, shot. Ah, imagine. It's a fun thought, but it points to something real, valuing that intentional inner growth.
The level up for conversation, definitely.
And maybe a path to deeper connection, too.
Thank you for joining us on this exploration, wrestling with these big ideas about time, growth, and the meaning we make. Lots to think about.
Absolutely. Until next time.